All right, on to page 4 of the listing agreement. This first part, lines 163 through 165, were part of the conditional termination that we just talked about. So I'm going to fast forward to paragraph 13, starting at line 166. This is dispute resolution. Under Florida law, this is what happens if there is a dispute and how it will be handled. It will be handled by arbitration. Okay. They agree to arbitration. The seller and the broker agree to arbitration. So in that case, line 170, the seller is going to initial, and line 172, you as the listing agent can initial. Arbitration is the only way to solve conflicts as they arise. This is what Florida law requires. So this is not negotiable. This is something that the seller needs to initial. It's something that you need to initial. On to paragraph 14, starting at line 177, miscellaneous clauses. If there's any heirs, personal representatives, things of that nature, it is still binding on them. The broker may assign this agreement to another listing office if for whatever reason they need to. This is the entire agreement between the seller and the broker. We don't have any side agreements, any side hustles. No prior agreements or representations will be binding unless they are included in this agreement, and electronic signatures are acceptable. Okay. Then in lines 15, paragraph 15, starting in lines 184. This is where you would put, any additional terms. So I'm not sure why it's getting massive like that, but let's say back at the very beginning, let's say up here at the personal property line, we have more items that we want to include, but don't necessarily want to put an attachment. Okay. You can add those items down here. So personal property included is, type out those things. Okay. Another thing that's commonly here is personal property excluded. They're not willing to sell their chandelier. I don't know if I spelled that right. Chandelier. It's not willing to convey. You would write that here. Any items that don't convey. Their hot tub. That's a big one if it doesn't stay. My advice to you, if the seller has a chandelier or a mirror or curtains or something that could be construed as personal property that they absolutely want to keep, they do not want to sell it with the house, have it taken down before photos and before a house is ever shown. Because inevitably, a buyer will fall in love with that same thing. And next thing you know, we're killing a deal over some curtains and their curtain rods. Okay. Have those things taken down ahead of time. It'll make your life so much easier. Any additional terms that you want to include, you've got tons of lines here to do it. Again, at the very bottom, we need the seller and the broker / authorized sales associates initials.